Got microphone. We're all ready to go, and we're live. What is up, my brothers? Tonight is a very special live announcement. I'm joined by Anthony the Dream Johnson, George Bruno, Rollo Tomasi, and Hunter Drew.
Hey.
Anthony, take it away. You have a big announcement.
What's the announcement?
Yeah.
There's announcements.
Yeah, hell yeah. Thanks, Rich. And thanks for having me on to make this announcement for the first convention in 2019, the first 21Con. It's a big deal that you guys here have known about for a few weeks, something that I thought up thanks to Hunter a little while ago, and a little bit of Redman Group, what you guys had going on with that, what we have going on. So basically in 2019, we have 3 events we're doing. There's 2 main events a lot of your fans know about. There's, of course, the Poland event going to be coming up in July. That'll be mid-July 2019, main event in Europe. And then we have the main event in Florida coming up late in the year. Those are the 2 that we'll be dropping more announcements on later in a few months, a few weeks from now. But the first event of the year is actually in the spring. It's a special event that we've never done before, and I'm really excited about it. So the 21 Convention is known as the world's ultimate event for men. It is the Woodstock of the manosphere. It's an incredible event that all of you have spoken at and been at, and it's unbelievably awesome. This event, though, is very special. This event this spring is going to be a special 2-day event, one-time event. It's going to be called the 21 Convention Patriarch Edition. It's going to be the world's ultimate event for fathers and by fathers. The focus is going to be, of course, on fatherhood. It's going to be on marriage. It's going to be on divorce. It's going to be on masculinity. And it's going to be on family and red pill parenting. These are topics that obviously we cover in the Redman Group and we cover them at the convention. But it's a very special focus, I think, to focus in on this and hone in on this. And as much of this as we cover at the convention, building a convention for men overall and building a convention that focuses on masculinity and male self-improvement, that's a huge umbrella. So this is a smaller, more focused event that's only 2 days long as well, rather than the full 4 or 5 days that we do at the 21 Convention, which is like huge. So it's a special event we have coming up in the spring. It's going to be, it looks like, in late April. The exact dates and tickets are going to drop at the end of January. About January 27th, 28th, we'll announce the final date soon here on the channel on 21 Studios, Entrepreneurs in Cars, and all that. So it's going to be the world's ultimate event for fathers. The first time ever we've done an event for fathers. And it's going to be, the speaking lineup too is going to be all fathers. So I'll be at the event, of course, running it, managing it, everything like that, but I won't be speaking. And our chief patriarch of the event is going to be Hunter Drew. He'll be the keynote speaker, taking lead at the event, opening it up, and then giving the keynote presentation, and then the closing address as well. So I'll be taking kind of a backseat at the conference, focusing more on managing it, doing everything like that. I won't be giving a primary talk at it, maybe a little opening thing myself. That's it. And I'm counting on you guys, the fathers, the patriarchs, to take lead with this. Everybody here on the show today on this little live stream will be speaking at it, including Hunter, of course, as keynote. Rich will be there, of course. George Bruno, host of the 21 Report and the George Bruno Experience on his channel, and returning speaker to the convention. And, of course, the godfather himself, Rollo Tomasi. We have some more speakers I can get into and go through it in more details. But that's that kind of primary first announcement, is that there's a convention coming up this spring in Orlando, Florida, and it's going to be exclusively, well, not exclusively, but primarily for fathers and based on fatherhood and patriarchy and marriage and family. And I'm really excited about it. I'm not a father myself, but I love to be a father someday and build a family. And it's also open too. So I was initially going to exclusively make it for fathers, and you weren't even allowed to attend unless you're a father. But thanks to you, Rich and Rollo, you guys convinced me to open the conference up to aspiring fathers too. Men similar to myself and some of the event staff who are a bit younger, and we haven't had families yet or built families. So everyone's welcome to attend as a man, but it's it's a specially focused event for fathers. Whether you're married or not, it doesn't really matter.
Perfect.
So yeah, that's kind of the initial thing, and I have more details we can get into, but I think we should kind of talk about it for a bit.
Oh, I was gonna say, is there there's gonna be a website or something where guys can go get tickets and give some information about this? Is there is that up yet, or we're gonna
It is not up
announce that yet later?
Yeah, so tickets and full details, including the exact dates. The venue is always secret, so secrecy and privacy and security are super important for all the conventions. So the venue is never going to drop except unless you buy a ticket. But the website to buy tickets is going out later this month in January. You can tune into Entrepreneurs in Cars, 21 Studios, The Rational Male, the Redman Group, any of that stuff. And they're going to get details on the event, on the tickets, how to get them, all that stuff. And that'll also include, we're going to announce some more speakers here for this event in this live stream, but the full speaking list will drop when the tickets do later this month. probably January 27th, January 28th when tickets go out.
Mm-hmm.
Can we give them some of the names of the other speakers aside from the ones that are sitting on the panel right now?
Oh, hell yeah. So, of course, we're going to have everybody here. We're also going to have Pat Campbell, returning speaker to the convention from earlier this year, or from, 2018 at this point. He's a radio host that, it's frequently partners up with Rollo, does his show on the Rational Male channel. We're also going to have Socrates, of course, from the convention. Dr. Robert Glover is tentatively in, a returning speaker to the convention himself.
Nice.
Another thing I want to mention, and Dr. Sean Smith will be there too, of course, a psychologist awesome. You've had on your channel several times. Someone else that will be there too, though. Well, let me put it this way. There are a lot of speakers that we've had at the convention who are not fathers. AJ Cortez, Ed Lattimore, men like that, who are awesome speakers, but they're not fathers, so they're not really a speaker fit for this event. But I've invited all of them out to the convention to attend as VIP in the audience, like an attendee. And I've talked to them one-on-one, a lot of them, and a lot of them are really excited to be at the event and be there. So at this convention, you won't just see, the speakers, of course, over the course of 2 days. You won't just see the Red Man group live. We're going to film more of those episodes. You won't just have the dinner experiences that are really awesome and premium and a really intimate kind of thing. You're also going to be in the audience with other speakers who have attended and spoken at the convention before. Guys like, AJ and Ed should be there in the audience. And other VIPs like that from past events. George Bruno, of course, will be speaking too, even though he'll also be double tasking doing the report, the interview series. So it's a lot on his plate, but we will pull it off.
Yeah.
Right.
We should also add that, one of the best components of these events, and I've said this before and I'll continue to say it over and over again, I believe is a lot of the stuff that happens outside of the conference area. Like there's a lot of great content and good conversation that happens on the stage in the conference room, but the dinners, the drinking parties, the lobby area, when you leave the conference and you're swarmed and everybody's got questions and they want to run stuff up the flagpole, that to me is my favorite part. Like I like talking and I like, giving the presentation, but I really like the interaction with people there too.
Totally.
I was going to say one of the, when Anthony approached me about this idea, I first of all, I thought it was fantastic. And not the least of which, because when I was doing the Man in Demand conference in Las Vegas in 2015 with like Goldman and Tanner and Christian McQueen, there were guys that were coming out there, just to see me mostly, but to bring their sons, and their sons were bringing their fathers out to just participate. That was only a 1-day thing. Yeah. And these guys were out there, and I bumped into at least half a dozen guys who are saying, when should I give my son the Rational Male? What, how can I help him avoid the pitfalls of, my life is screwed, but I don't want his life to be screwed. So how can I go and help this guy, my kid out? I got 2 boys. When's the best time to do this or to do that? And I think that this is going to be a good, opportunity for a little bit more intensive, focus on one thing, like on fatherhood and on parenting, obviously on marriage, obviously on, family issues and things like that too. Certainly on divorce, certainly on, should I get married? Should I not get married? That kind of stuff. Well, I'm certain we'll have some panels open. We'll have some questions and Q&As and stuff for that too. But one thing that is unique was unique to that, as well as the 21 convention from 2017 and 2018, is, again, I met guys there who would bring their teenage sons. There's one. There was at least 2 guys there who brought their teenage son. I think even Tex brought his son too, right?
And Drew Bay as well.
Yeah, it was a father and son kind of thing, right? Because they wanted their boys to. Most of these, the guy I was talking to at one of the dinners at the 2018 one had brought his 14-year-old son there to sit down and talk to me and talk about their situation and talk about the fact that he had married a very, BPD, if not bipolar, mother, and the boy was able to elaborate almost better than the husband and the father could. And it was great to have that kind of interaction. And you're sitting down there and you're talking to these guys one-on-one, and you're talking to fathers in such a way that it's the only, for some of these guys, this is the only place they're ever going to get anything like this. They're sure as shit not going to get it from the APA. They're not going to get it from mainstream psychologists right now anymore. We always say we're the media. We're the fucking psychologists now too. Okay, we are I'm dead serious, because now it's up to us to like sort of carry the torch and to carry this, this ideal of traditional. Well, they call it traditional. I call it conventional masculinity. And now it's up to us to do something. Well, here we are. Here we're doing something. Guys always say, "Well, you're just going to sit down there and just be a keyboard jockey and type behind your screen all day long." No, we're doing something, and this is going to be something. And this event, I hope this event ends up becoming something that is an annual event, and it just keeps going. Obviously, this is the first one, so we're kind of throwing this is like our test balloon to see if it flies, right?
Yes.
But honest to God, I think that this is going to be an opportunity that you are simply not going to get anywhere else. You're not, and if I'm putting my name on this, and everybody who watches this or who has ever seen anything that I've done, I'm putting my name on this. I'm putting Rollo Tomasi on this, because I believe that this is what's needed and this is what's necessary right now, particularly in 2019 and going forward. This kind of event, and you know what, and you probably are going to agree with this, is I can see other organizers trying to copy something like this, because this is desperately needed.
Here's the thing too, like a lot of guys will go, "Hey, this sounds like a press release. It's a big launch," and it is. But you always got to remember, Anthony releases all this stuff for free at some point later on down the road.
Right.
So this is, hey, if you want to attend, you want to be part of the movement, part of the growth, part of these men, you're going to hear different components of fatherhood, becoming a father, post marriage. Like I'm a divorced dude, and I'm gonna hammer out my speech covering things like divorce, dating as a divorced father, and things tied into that. You've got Hunter Drew, who's a married man who hammers out the family alpha. You got Rollo, who's been married for 20 years. You got George, who's been married and divorced and has 3 kids. Who's dating, at the ripe old age of 27.
Gonna be 60.
I'm excited to bring the Sultan back, man. Hell yeah.
I'm telling you, like, I'm really looking forward to this. Like, this is going to be great.
I know from my perspective too. Well, first of all, Hunter's the guy who really inspired very specifically this conference, because Hunter had approached me in the summertime about doing a family alpha thing someday. And I think we still might do that someday. We'll talk more about that. But now is not the time that is going to happen. But I knew, I was like, dude, with Hunter's taking lead on this, fuck yeah. But also I knew that an event is needed for fathers. I'm not a father myself, but I'm a man, I'm an adult, and I can see the shit you guys get thrown at you. It's just one more thing they hate on. You're a man, you're straight, you're wealthy, you're white, you're wealthy, whatever the fuck. It's just like men in Western culture today, the hatred level on you is 100%. If you're a man or a boy. If you're a father, that's even extra hate on top of that, which is just fucking retarded.
Oh, we should also hit on the fact that we're doing that extra episode for the Red Man Group channel. So bi-weekly, again, this is another
something
announcement.
New. Here's the extra announcement.
Here's the extra. But wait, there's more.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, there's more. We're going to be adding a extra regular show to the Red Man Group channel on every other Thursday night now. I'm going to try to get starting tomorrow, which is going to focus, specifically on fathers. I'm going to try to get involved as much as I possibly can. If we can schedule it in so that it doesn't conflict with my parenting schedule, I'll definitely be for every single one. Hunter will definitely be a part of that. And, a few other men that are part of the Red Man Group and fathers as well are going to want to contribute. You guys probably noticed when we did the one the other week, we had a full panel, and I've never seen a panel that big. I think it was fully loaded. It was 8 or 9, right?
Yeah, we had 9 guys.
Yeah, we had too many guys.
Yeah, it was fully loaded. So, we're going to be adding that to the routine as well, because it's a big question for a lot of men, whether they want to become fathers, they are fathers, or they're going through divorce, or they're post-divorce. We bring a lot of specialties that can cover a ton of those areas. So we'll be broadcasting there also for free on the Red Man Group channel too.
Hell yeah. And we're going to film more of those episodes live too. Everyone on your channel, for example, just saw Redman Group 34, the first one we filmed live at the conference after it. Yeah. We're still working out the details, of course. We're filming more of those at the upcoming Patriarch convention. But 100%, we're going to film at least 1 or 2 more of those at that conference itself. And they'll be even better than what we just filmed recently in Orlando. Every year that goes by, you guys have seen, interacting with the conference, we get better and better and better. just like individual men, just like the panelists here, just like our audience. So we'll see the same thing in Orlando coming up at that conference. And the show, hell yeah. I'm not a father, so I won't be on it, but I'll be rooting, cheerleading from the chat and beating up trolls.
Yeah, the fact that we're doing this is incredible. So the way it started out was I wanted to do something with the Family Alpha, and I didn't think Anthony could do 3 events. I was like, that's just too much. So I was like, I'll take it, like, let's collaborate somehow and get something for the family man, because of course that's the angle I'm coming from. That's what the whole message is about that I'm pushing for. And then we talked at 21Con again. I was like, hey, what do you think? And then he's like, that's a good idea. Maybe it's something we can make happen. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And then he texted me. He's like, dude, it's green lighted. We're doing a whole 21 convention on fatherhood. And I was like, holy shit. I didn't think it was going to happen, man. I was like, I'm going to be the squeaky wheel and keep asking. But when he gave the thumbs up, I remember reading the text. I almost crashed. I was driving. I was like, oh, fuck. So, that was awesome. But also the show. You've got so many discussions going on MGTOW and guys going at that. You've got guys who are divorced. You've got the playboys that are out there, these young entrepreneurs. But we also have men who are leading families. We also have men who have children. And those men are as much of a man as all these other men that we have going on. And how do you make generational change? How do you make an impact that's going to go on? You talk to the fathers who are going to raise the sons. You talk to that level. So we truly are. Rolo's talking about us having to be the media, entertainment, the news, and now the psychologists. It's fucking real. It's real. Because look what the APA did. We recently had to go through that whole mess. But we are the only ones putting out this content, and we're covering everything. You've got guys coming from every area of life, and that's what people need to see. Not the crap that's being spewed by mainstream media. What we're putting out there, that's what they need.
Yeah. That shit's easy. I was gonna say that shit is easy. The Dr. Phil shit is easy to come by. All right. You can go and you can listen to any Oprah approved, therapist that you want to. You can go to your marriage therapist and know damn well that if they're approved by the APA, that's the kind of shit that you're going to get. You're not going to get that anywhere. You're not going to get what we have to offer here. You're not going to get guys who have this degree of experience anywhere else. And that goes not just for the convention, but also for the Red Man Group, the Patriot, we're going to call it the Patriarchs, right? That's
the Patriarch show,
the Patriarch show, right? Yeah. You're not going to get it. You're not going to get Patriarchs anywhere else, and with the balls to even name it Patriarchs, right?
Yeah.
And I think that again, this is needed, and it's needed because when guys get together, it threatens that status. It threatens the what I call the village. It threatens the leftist establishment, if that's what you want to call it. But just like the mainstream establishment, if the guys coming together and actually getting their shit together and organizing and talking about the stuff that we do, and like what you were just saying, it's not just the red pill is not just limited to guys going, oh, how are we going to go get laid? Okay, fine. Great. Pickup artistry is definitely a part of that. MGTOW definitely a part of that. But what's also a part of that is you got guys. It's great to be able to get into the same room with somebody like, say, Christian McQueen, and then I've got Hunter sitting on the other side of me, and then we can all have a talk, and we can at least put in our 2 cents about whatever the conversation is, and we can take it from there. Because at some point, even those guys who are like the Playboy lifestyle guys, they're going to want to have kids. They're going to want to have, something else, that's something a little bit bigger than what they're doing right now. And maybe they're not. And maybe you need to understand that. Maybe there's guys who are there, like, who haven't had that experience as well, and they want to know, they want to get the kind of information that only like a Playboy can have, that can relate it to a guy who's in a marriage, and maybe he takes that information and he can apply it to his own marriage. He can apply it to making his life a little bit better. It's coming together and sharing notes. This is actually the original intent or the original purpose of when I was a moderator on SOSWAV, on those forums. We've taken it from out of the digital forum realm, out of just talking about it, out of just, being behind being keyboard jockeys, and actually putting it into the realm of where guys are coming together and we're all comparing notes. We're all coming together and we're all sharing our experiences and connecting dots and putting together a better life. And we're doing it with our kids there. We're doing it with the intent of, as DDJ likes to call it, multi-generational mentorship. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And that can be multi-generational, can be anything like, you talking to your kids, or it can be George Bruno telling me, hey, here's my experience when, I got divorced or something like that. I'm still open to being educated. So
yeah. So I want to clear up a few things. Hunter mentioned here in the chat that there's a lot of people asking in the live chat about speaker list. So I want to clear. I'll go through that again what I'm revealing so far, but I want to clarify that at the main convention, that's 4 days long, we have about 23 to 25 speakers. This event's only a Saturday, Sunday. I made it that way on purpose so it's easier for fathers to get into the event. You know, come in Friday night, go to the meet and greet. You show up Saturday for the conference, show up Sunday, and then you're done. So it's in and out, and it's easier to attend. It's easier to get off work. It's easier to be with your family. So it's a short event, weekend event only, Saturday, Sunday. That's still pretty awesome, actually, 2 days long. In terms of speaking list, though, instead of being 25 speakers, there'll be about 13, 14 total, which is still a ton. I mean, it's like no chump change on that. But again, it's not the massive, ridiculous lineup that the main events have, which are like, they're not even a convention, they're like a giant summit. This event's special and focused, and it's awesome. So the speaking list, though, so far, the one I'll reveal anyway, and you'll see the full one at the end of this month in January when tickets go live. Hunter Drew, Rollo Tomasi, Richard Cooper, Pat Campbell, Drew Bay, George Bruno, Robert Glover, Texas Dom, who's also a grandfather, by the way, Steve the Dean Williams, who you guys have seen in the Redman group, and Tanner Guzzi, the style expert. Although he has a lot more to offer, and you'll see him more on the Redman group show, the Patriarchs. And I think at this convention, you might see him branch more outside the style category a little more. He has a lot to say, and I think when his fans, the more his fans have seen that, the more they've responded strongly to that. And I think everyone here on the panel has come on the same page, but Tanner's a really badass dude. So those are the guys so far that I can announce. But in the end, there'll be about 13, 14 speakers over the course of 2 days. There will be Redman Group episodes we're going to film as well in the conference room or one auxiliary to it. We'll have night events like Richard Cooper mentioned that are special dinners, things like that are included with your ticket. We'll have like maybe a VIP one you can upgrade to, but also your ticket to any 21 convention event is a complete experience. We don't nickel and dime you for like random stuff. When you buy a ticket to the convention, you get the full premium experience. And then also I wanted to mention too, so in 2019 at the main events in Poland in July, and then Orlando, Florida again later in the fall in November, we're integrating into those events a lot of workshops. Breakout sessions are going to occur throughout the conference that are included with your ticket. These are workshops that will focus on fitness, health, diet, marriage, divorce, family, fatherhood, pickup, same-night lays, all kinds of stuff, right? The Patriarch Convention is also going to have some of that. It won't be implemented because it's a big change for how the 21 convention runs. So you'll see some of that integrated into this conference as well. I'm going to set up workshop rooms that are limited to 20, 30 guys at a time that you can sign up for free with your ticket throughout the event, and you can go to those workshops. I'm even looking into getting a local attorney involved, like a family, like a men's rights attorney, to talk to guys about navigating divorce from a non-legally binding advice perspective. That makes sense. As well as the speakers, of course. I'm going to invite Rollo, Richard, all these guys to do workshops throughout the event that we're going to specifically design for these guys to have a much more intimate session that's not filmed. So the speeches are filmed, right? And we eventually publish those on the internet for free. They reach millions of men. But I want to set up now workshops at this conference that are very private and very intimate. They're not on camera. So unlike in the conference room, you go up on camera in front of 200 guys, right? 250 guys, you ask a question that millions of people are going to see. That's a lot different than going into a small room of 25 guys with Rollo and Rich leading the workshop, and you spend 2 hours asking questions to the speaker. That's not recorded. It's not permanent. It's not on the internet forever. It's one-on-one or a very private setting like that. So you're going to see the beginning of that in the Patriarch Convention, and then later that'll be fully expanded at the Europe event in Poland, and then again later in the year at the main event.
Awesome. Stoked.
Hell yeah.
Do you want to
what about George Bruno? What do you got going on, man? What do you think of this?
Yeah.
I like it. My head is spinning with all the ideas that I have. First thing I'm thinking of is first things to do with your kids after a divorce. I mean, most people go into self-destruction mode, and the first thing that came to me was self-construction mode. Build yourself up rather than tear yourself down during that period of time of adjustment. And I think so many men can relate to that post-divorce. They're just in a tailspin and kind of like in this death spiral. And they do so many things, and they just create layer after layer of things that hurt them. And I would like to see people start building layer after layer of things that are going to be helping them and build their character, as opposed to wasting 5 years post-divorce and then having to apologize to your kids for all the crap that you went through and the arguing and the legal stuff and to remain the sane one in the process.
Hell yeah.
The entire spectrum, the breadth of knowledge that's on here too. I'm looking at Rolo and George, and I'm like, they're so much further on with their kids. My kids are 9 and 6, so I'm on the other side of the spectrum. We're just coming up. It's just you've got everything in between. You've got guys who are divorced, guys that are married, older kids, younger kids, boys, girls. I mean, this is the fatherhood event of all time. You've got everything put together. It's like, holy shit.
I'm trying to make it the Woodstock for fathers, and I think we're going to pull that off. I mean, this event, I'm going to have to hard cap it. It's not an ebook, you can't just send it endlessly. So I'm going to hard cap the attendance at some point based on the room size. That might be 150, it might be 200. I'm not planning it for it to be bigger than that, but we'll see. And if it sells out, it sells out, and you can go to a conference later in the year. I also wanted to announce too that for all conventions this year in 2019, the 21 convention, the Patriarch, and then the following two, we're giving 25% off to all active duty and retired military. And if you're the same price, 25% off the ticket, if you are 25 or under of age at the time of purchase of the ticket. So if you're a bit younger, you get a nice discount. And if you're active or retired military, you also get a discount too.
And just to clarify the location, because people are still asking in the comments, this is going to be in Orlando, correct?
Yes, home base, Orlando, Florida. It'll probably be at the same venue as the one later in the year. So it'll be kind of a warm-up if the guys want to come back later in the year, they know the venue.
Cool.
But again, that's private, and we keep it secret and only announce it to paid ticket holders, so no one knows where the event's at.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be a great event.
Another thing, too, a little housekeeping, is we're actually moving the conference center away from downtown to iDrive, one of the big ass hotels down there, and I'm really excited for that. Those are super professional venues and super nice. And another thing too, a little housekeeping, is that when tickets launch at the end of this month, they'll get an announcement from you, Rich, Hunter, everybody will announce it. The early bird ticket is going to be a limited time sale when it goes out, and they'll save $500 when they buy the early bird ticket versus buying the full price ticket later. So that's the deal that goes out, and they'll see the price too, and that all goes out. Price, speaking list, exact dates, all that stuff.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. So it doesn't look like there's any other questions. Do you guys have any closing remarks or comments before we wrap up? This just, was intended to be like a 30-minute announcements, a couple questions, and then we'd wrap it up.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that we sort of explain the Patriarchs show coming up. Remember, that's going to be tomorrow. What was the time for that?
I think we're aiming for 8:30, right, Hunter?
Yes, 8:30.
8:30 Eastern. Okay.
Yeah.
So 8:30 Eastern tomorrow, 5:30 Pacific.
That'll be every Thursday?
Every other
Thursday, and we're going to have more or less a different lineup. I think it'll be Hunter and I to start it out with, and then I think Hunter's going to end up really being the head on that one. So I think this is a good idea, because I don't think there's enough really like any. Honestly, is there any other show that's like this? When you were talking about people copying, married guys coming, yeah,
there's nothing right now. There is nothing, and I'm the guy. I'm Family Alpha. Like, my blog is it. This is a real version, Well,
and this is the kind of shit that's going to be very threatening to the village. It's going to be very threatening. It's hard to play all the angles here, okay? Because I think that if you go and you say, well, I'm going to go and do a show that's just going to be dedicated to fathers, and it's going to be dedicated to being a better father or being a red pill father, how do you take what you know from your red pill awareness, and how do you apply that in your daily life? How do you apply that in your marriage? How do you apply that how do you teach that with your kids so they're not making the same kind of mistakes, or they have some sort of defense against this bullshit that they have to deal with every day in the media, in school, wherever else they are, and hopefully give some actionable advice and give some actionable just maybe some techniques or something. I don't know, just maybe even just something to think about. But like, this is the kind of shit that you're never going to get from any other place. And I think that's probably the most important. And we're talking about just like myself or maybe George Bruno, and we got some guys lined up. If they have kids, they're married, whatever. So it's like I'm trying to say, okay, the red pill can be more than just pickup, but I'm not saying it's not just this or it's not just that. It can be, it has applications across the spectrum of a man's life, and this is one of those. This is one of those areas.
I'll
So-
say too that we might see the Good Man Project or some wishy-washy blue pill bullshit try to copy us or something like this, but that'll be a complete failure, 100%.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because I think when I was considering this, I think I had seen something like, I think it was the We Are Man Enough group, and they were really, really slickly produced, but it's the same bullshit that you get from Dr. Phil. It's the same bullshit that you get. That's this female, feminine imperative approved, APA approved version of masculinity, because it's this nice wishy-washy shit that has nothing to do. It's like, well, let's try to discover ourselves as men, and it's just this, the femininity just oozes out of these guys, and these are the guys that are going to tell you how to be a better man. I don't think so. And I would love to go head to head with some of these guys. I would love for something like that to happen. But yeah, I can definitely see something like this happening on, like, say, the Good Man Project or something else. But you got to understand that these are the guys that want to bring. They want the best. These are the guys that want the best of that. That's what they want to mix in this feminine, approved, this gynocentric advice, so that you are a better slave on the plantation.
I'll just go ahead and say it. Those guys are Vichy males. They're traitors.
They're Vichy males. Yeah, exactly.
They're slaves to the feminine imperative. It's horrible.
Yeah, and these are the guys who are going to agree with something like, "Oh, traditional masculinity is toxic," or even just saying something about to me, there is no such thing as toxic masculinity. There's only masculinity, and there's the aspects of it that agree and are helpful. Like when the floodwaters start rising and women need to be carried out of the area, then masculinity is okay. But anything else ends up being,
taking bullets.
Toxic. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And maybe that's something we talk about, and this is something that you're not going to hear from anybody else. It's only going to be from someone like us. So tune in. If you're not a father, that doesn't mean that there's not going to be something for you. Maybe you're thinking about it. So just stay tuned, listen to these, give it a chance, listen to some of this stuff. Even if you're a player, even if you're a MGTOW, listen to this kind of stuff, because the first thing a MGTOW is going to say is, like, all I got to do is say MGTOW. All I got to do is just say MGTOW, and that solves all problems. No, it doesn't. You need to, if you are in this, if you are a man with a father, if you're a man, I mean, even guys like DDJ, okay, those guys got divorced. He got divorced twice. Okay, he has a father. He's a grandfather. He can still relate to this kind of stuff. So don't just dismiss it because it's, I'm not going to learn how to do cocky funny. How can I? There's other shows for you. You can watch the Red Man Group, and we'll talk about that. You can watch about it when we do something about game. Like that's the beauty of the Red Man Group. That's the beauty of this organization right now, is that there's something for everybody. There's something for every aspect of the red pill, and this is one more aspect. So that's why we're doing this.
I want to comment too that I love how the new Patriarch show for the Red Man Group is dovetailing perfectly with the Patriarch Convention. To me, excuse the feminine language here, but it's beautiful. I couldn't ask for a better show to co-occur with an event like this. This event to me is really exciting. I'm not a father myself, but I love being able to stretch and flex my muscles as an event builder and organizer, and this is perfect. Like, I'm really excited for the opportunity. I'm really thankful that Hunter gave me the idea. Maybe someday I'll pass the torch off to him to do the conference, or I'll help him in another way like that.
I gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hell yeah. So
it's great.
It's really exciting. And another thing too that Rolo mentioned was the grandfather aspect. And if you're a grandfather, you are more than welcome to come out to this event. We'll have at least one grandfather speaking, Texas Dom, and maybe one or two more beyond that. And I don't want to leave them out. I think grandfatherhood is something I know very little about. I only got to know one of my grandfathers kind of briefly. But if you're a grandfather and you want to come out to the event and bring your son or grandson, you are more than welcome to do that. I would love to see a whole bunch of that at the event, in addition to bringing your sons and stuff like that. Yeah. So hell yeah.
This is the event you want to bring your sons to.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like all those guys out there that are, talking about having kids and how do you have kids? Well, this will be a good place to go to. I mean you're going to hear it from every angle, from Tanner Guzzi's, Mormon angle to my vehemently opposed to marriage angle. You're going to get covered everywhere. Shout out to ARS for the 100. I don't know what ARS 100 is, but thanks for the super chat. I always try to acknowledge those whenever they come in, by the way.
Yeah, this is probably something you want to tell your son about. Yeah, you need to tell your son this.
Definitely. You definitely want to tell your son this, even if he's butthurt.
Exactly.
I had to drop it.
It's going to be great. I love it. Love it.
Anyway,
All right.
that's all I got for the event, man. I'm excited
All right,
to
guys.
make
All
the
right,
announcement.
gentlemen.
Appreciate the time.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, just give tomorrow's show a chance. Yeah, check it out. See how it applies to you, because you'll find some way that it will apply to you.
Definitely check it out, and also make sure you're subscribed to whoever you follow. I mean, everybody's got a favorite, because when the tickets go live, you want to grab them at the early bird price, because they don't go any cheaper; they go up in price. So make sure that you got your eyes open for that.
Right.
All right, guys. Thanks for
right.
watching today's announcement. We'll see you tomorrow night for a special edition of the Red Man Group for the kickoff Patriarchy event. Thanks, guys. Peace.
Thanks.